Messages from Shaltazar, when freedom and structure collide. We are Shaltazar, the Gavish Bunny Nu, the energy of 33, the Master Teacher, and the energy of 44, the Master Healer. Dear one, you are living in a time of many expectations, boundaries, and shared agreements, while also holding a deep longing for freedom. You feel the pull of both. You want safety, order, and predictability, and you also want spaciousness, choice, and the right to follow your own path. This tension is not a mistake. It is the curriculum of this era. For so long, leadership on your planet has mostly meant control. Those who established the boundaries often believed they needed to keep others in line, maintain order, and prevent chaos. In families, at work, in governments, in spiritual communities, leadership became associated with authority, with being the one who decides what is right and wrong, what is acceptable and unacceptable. Obedience was praised, disobedience was punished. Many of you still carry this old imprint in your bodies and in your nervous systems. Yet, at the same time, your souls came here in this lifetime with a strong desire for freedom. Freedom to express, to question, to explore, to evolve beyond the old ways. This is why you feel so much inner conflict. Part of you wants to follow the agreements, boundaries, or shared standards so you will be safe, loved, accepted, not rejected. Another part of you wants to break free, to say these boundaries and restrictions do not feel right to my heart. They do not serve who I am becoming. These two parts often fight with one another inside of you, just as they fight between people in your outer world. We invite you to see that you are both. You are the one who yearns for stability, and you are the one who yearns for freedom. You are the inner rule maker and the inner rebel, all in one. The new way of leadership is not to crush one side and favor the other. The new way is to become the wise mediator between these parts of yourself, and therefore between these parts of humanity. You do not have to consider yourself a leader in the conventional sense. You may not run a company or a country. You may simply be parenting a child, managing a small team, holding space for a friend, or navigating a relationship. But understand this, in every interaction, you are leading with your energy. You are broadcasting what is acceptable, what is possible, what love looks like in action. Others are watching you, especially when there is conflict around rules and freedom. So how do you lead in a new way when structure and freedom collide? Begin within. When you encounter structure, boundaries, or limitations, whether it is a law, a policy, a family expectation, or a spiritual principle, pause and ask your heart, is this serving love, safety, growth, and respect for all involved? Or is it serving fear, control, and the protection of ego? Some agreements, boundaries, or shared standards are containers for love. They keep people safe. They keep your body healthy. They protect the vulnerable. Other regulations become cages built from fear, from old wounds, from the need to feel powerful and superior. Your task as a new kind of leader is to discern which is which. When you encounter resistance to a rule or expectation, instead of immediately demanding compliance or resorting to punishment, pause again. Become curious. Ask yourself and the other, what are you afraid of losing? What are you trying to protect? What feels unsafe for you here? The one who refuses to follow a rule, guideline, or boundary is often not simply being difficult. They may be protecting their dignity, their autonomy, their sense of being heard. They may be carrying their own history of being controlled or humiliated. When you rush to enforce, you lose the chance to understand the deeper wound beneath the behavior. This does not mean you abandon all boundaries. New Earth leadership is not chaos. It is leadership rooted in mindful, compassionate guidance rather than control. It means you keep the agreements, boundaries, or shared standards that truly serve love and well-being, but you hold them in an open heart and a listening ear. You allow dialogue. You allow adjustments. You allow co-creation of agreements wherever possible. You say, this boundary matters, and so do you. Let us see if there is a way to honor both. There will also be times when, in the name of freedom, a being will challenge a boundary not from rebellion, but because something within them says, I must. This is not wrong. It is part of the evolution of consciousness. The rebel energy is needed on your planet, for without it, many outdated agreements, boundaries, or shared standards would never be questioned, dissolved, or transformed. And yet, freedom without responsibility becomes recklessness. When one chooses to challenge an established standard, one must also be willing to accept the consequences of that choice. The key is not to punish, but to guide with love. Consequences born of love teach awareness, accountability, and respect. Consequences born of fear teach only shame and resentment. The balance you seek as leaders is not between control and chaos, but between freedom and compassionate accountability. Dear one, every time life brings you into tension between boundaries and freedom, see it as a sacred practice. You are learning a new way of leading, one that honors clarity without rigidity, choice without chaos, and accountability without shame. This is not about winning or being right. It is about fostering understanding, dignity, and connection. We bring you this message from a place of love. Our love for you is everlasting and unconditional. You did not come here to live in blind obedience. nor to reject every boundary that arises. You came to help usher in a new balance, where freedom and responsibility walk together, and where love becomes the compass that guides how agreements are formed, held, and evolved. Breathe gently now, dear one. You are doing better than you realize. Every moment you choose awareness over reaction, compassion over control, and truth over fear, the world shifts with you.